thank you very much again for the opportunity given to explore my little knowledge about the issue of resignation of an assembly member. And just before I proceed, I think it's important and very pertinent to mention that the issue of resignation is a thing of choice. But however, the issue or the procedure guiding the resignation of that choice is a matter of law. By that I mean, resignation of an assembly member it has a statutory creation in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it therefore means that for that your choice to be completely expressed to members of the public, it must be done in line with the provisions of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria guiding the expression of that your decision or choice. Simply put, that Section 109 sub 1G is what regulates the issue of resignation of an assembly member. And that section, I can paraphrase it to mean that if an assembly member chooses to vacate his seat, that assembly member shall write to the Speaker of the House of Assembly declaring his decision to resign from the State House of Assembly. There are certain operative words or decisions or things we may have to take home, and that will guide us in determining whether or not the resignation of Right Honorable Edison Ehie was rightly done or wrongly done, or put differently, is still a member of the State House of Assembly. These are one, that resignation letter must be in writing. The resignation letter must be addressed to the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, and that resignation letter must be signed personally to the Speaker, personally by the member of the State House of Assembly who is resigning, and then it must be addressed to the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. So it therefore means that if Right Honorable Edison Ehie had written a letter in his personal capacity as the then House of Assembly member as it were, and then addressed it to one, the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, then the letter of resignation would be said to have been properly done. But however, there is a little issue which I believe is part of what is causing the argument today on social media and maybe in the secular society and River State as it were. One of the issues is that as at the time that Edison Ehie resigned, Edison was acting in his capacity as the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. Now the question is, if the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly is resigning as the Speaker and a member of the River State House of Assembly, to whom should that letter be addressed to, or would have been addressed to? It is to the Deputy Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. Now the question is that, was there a Deputy Speaker? If the answer is yes, it therefore means that Edison had addressed the letter to the Deputy Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. But the overall of the entire argument is that after the decision of Edison and the letter tendered by Edison about his resignation, the Supreme Court came out to say the leadership of Edison was not in line with the provisions of the law, and therefore declared the act and the leadership and the advantage led by Edison Ehie as null and void. What it means is very simple, that if Edison intends to resign today, he has to do a first letter to the River State House of Assembly and the Speaker particularly. That letter was addressed to what is the name? The letter was addressed to Right Honorable, and the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly does not have any input. His duty there is to receive that letter. So for me, I think it is unwise for people to begin to make the argument as to whether or not all in the name of who becomes the chief of staff to the River State government. Just like I rightly said, if the letter was improperly done at that time, he still has the right.
All right, let me ask this question. Oh, okay. But we're not. I'm looking at the letter now. At the time, I think it was the recipient of the letter was the chairman INEC, who at the time was Mahmoud Yakubu. But okay.
his appointment cannot be confirmed if the governor elects to still retain him as his chief of staff.
All right. Now this is before we go on the commercial quickly. Let's assume, going in the context of everything you said, he decides to write another letter to the Ameule Assembly, to the Speaker of the Assembly. I beg your pardon, Martin Ameule.
Yes.
Does the Assembly have a right to say no, that they are not going to approve of his resignation?
The law is crystal clear. The law is crystal clear. If you look at section 109, the law is crystal clear that the Assembly, inclusive of the Speaker, does not have any responsibility of declaring law and void the resignation letter which may be made by Right Honorable Edison Ehie and any other Assembly member or Assembly.
So in other words, you're saying if he writes another letter now, the Assembly has no option but to sign and approve.
It is mandatory for the Assembly to accept it as his resignation letter. So the only duty and responsibility he owes himself is to make a fresh letter which will be valid in the eyes of the law, and then address him to the Speaker of the House of Assembly, which is Honorable Martin Ameule.
All right. All right, Mr. Chioma Choko, thank you very much. We'll wrap it up here and allow you to get on with your day. Thank you once again for being a part of the conversation.
Thank you, and God bless you.
All right. There you have it. We'll take a short commercial. When we come back, we'll open the phone lines and get your thoughts. Don't forget, what would be the fate of those commissioners? Is also a question that we have in the mix. Good morning. It is the Morning Crossfire.
in Crossfire on
All right, let's get back into a conversation. So, if you followed us from the first half, you must have heard quite a lot that requires your response. For those who did not, please go to Facebook now. The handle is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook. So, you get on Facebook, you search, just type in Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. It takes you automatically to the page. First thing you do is to like the page, and then you scroll down, you see the live stream. All right, you can rewind and listen to the whole conversation from the start. Do well to share the video as well. So just click on the share button, repost, so you get more people to interact and make their contributions as well. And then drop your comments. Try to keep the comments short and simple. Thank you very much. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. On the first half, we spoke with a lawyer, Chioma Choko, and he gave us insights as to what constitutionally is required of a lawmaker who is resigning from the assembly. And if we look according to the constitution, well, you might want to say the letter written by Edison Ehie may